welcome to Health Station with CARLA, where all these come together and more.
Good morning, is it a good after? It's still good morning,
Still
isn't
good morning.
it?
Yes, it is.
Welcome back. Welcome once again to the Health Station with me, Carla, and
Onin Yechi.
there
As
you
Carla
go.
says, Onin.
That's the nickname I give you. You have
Yes,
to
and I
live with
love
that.
it. Love it.
Isn't
love
it? It's short, it's sweet.
Yes, and you're the only one who calls me that.
You see?
So whenever I hear it, I know it's definitely Carla that's
Exactly.
calling me.
So then I have to change nicknames if I want to sound anonymous for you one day.
Okay, that's true.
Like a prank.
I'd work for you.
You just
though.
gave me your secret that this is the way you recognize me.
I have to watch my back now.
Anyways, we're all watching our back, my dear. And today's show is about watching your back as well.
really?
Because you have to watch your back about your health. So there's always something to learn, as we said. So welcome back, everyone. I hope you've had a lovely week ahead, behind and a lovely weekend ahead to come. So meanwhile, we are going to go straight to the facts of the week.
It's time for Facts of the Week.
All right, so as you all know, we always start with the facts of the week. If you still want to watch our lovely selves, you can always tune in to our Facebook page, Nigeria Info FM, or on our online platform, nigeriainfo.fm. You know, it's always nice to see,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
It's like you can visualize
And
more
feel like
what
you're
you're
here
listening
with
to.
us.
You feel you're here with us. You can see what we're doing behind the scenes. You know, radio sometimes hides a bit of all that.
It does.
So we
but
try and act as civilized as we can because we know you're watching
we
us.
know you're watching.
All right, so first fact of the week, a common Alzheimer drug can increase hospitalization risks. So here's what you should know. First of all, this study was published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal. We're talking about a drug called, if I'm saying it right, donepezil. Aricept. It's used to help Alzheimer's disease symptoms, and it was associated with a small increased risk of hospitalization due to a condition called, and remember that, rhabdomyolysis.
Rhabdomyolysis.
There you go. You learned a new word today. It is a painful condition. As lovely as that word sounds, it's actually very painful. It's caused by the breakdown and death of actually your muscle fibers, and in severe cases can cause kidney damage or kidney failure. So let's go back to the basics. What's Alzheimer? Many of you out there might wonder what the name is. It's been heard of before. Well, you've got around 1.5 million cases, official cases in Nigeria of Alzheimer's disease. So it's not something to be taken lightly. It's a disease that destroys the memory and other important mental functions. Okay, it's very common among the elderly, so it's something you should know. Now, the overall risk of taking that drug still remains low. Still, new research finds that this drug used to treat symptoms of Alzheimer's disease was associated with a double increased risk of developing a condition that can lead to, as I said, kidney failure or rhabdomyolysis. All right, so they looked at the information for more than 220,000 participants,
Wow.
66 years of or older. So we're looking at the elderly, and there were different prescription drugs they were taking. You had donepezil, you have rivastigmine, you have galantamine. For those of you who have, relatives or friends who are going through this, you might be familiar with those names. I hope you never get to be familiar with those names for those of you who haven't heard of them before. But these drugs typically are used to manage Alzheimer's disease and dementia, but that specific drug, donepezil, also known as Aricept, was the one that gave them an increased risk of being hospitalized. So that's one fact of the week. It's not a very pleasant fact, but yet it's good to know. We need to be aware of the unpleasant truth out there sometimes. It helps to raise awareness and for you to actually know. Knowledge is power, so we're empowering you in knowing best how to take better choices. Never stop taking prescription drugs, though, without consulting your doctor. So if you are taking that drug, do consult your doctor, or if you have a relative, of course, using that drug before deciding on anything. Number 2, air pollution and pregnancy. Air pollution. Does it sound familiar?
Definitely
Does
very
it sound familiar where we're living? I mean, you've got
familiar.
a generator singing at every compound. You've got what? Coal
Cars
being
moving all over the
yeah,
place.
coal being burned for cooking. I mean, when you pass by the Third Mainland Bridge, I always use that as an example. You have all those villages on top of the water, and you see that smog on top of all those villages, and that's actually the smoke coming from coal burning for cooking.
Okay.
So new evidence is out there.
Yeah.
Pollution can breach a mother's placenta and potentially reaches fetus in the womb, which can raise the possibility of future health problems. So you might be wondering, how is that possible? I mean, okay, fine, we get it. It gets to the mother, maybe to the mother's lungs, but how does it even get to the placenta? Now, in previous studies, dirty air has been linked to an increased risk of miscarriage, premature births, low birth weights, because the mothers were exposed to a lot of air pollution. But never did they think it would be actually possible that it could breach the placenta. So what's the placenta? For those of you who don't know yet, the placenta is a pouch in the uterus of pregnant women and of pregnant mothers, and it nourishes and maintains the fetus throughout the pregnancy through the umbilical cord, which is what links you to your baby. So through the umbilical cord, the placenta provides oxygen, it provides nutrients to the growing baby, and it also removes the waste out of the pouch the baby is in. So it's absolutely very crucial for the survival and proper development of the fetus. Now, how is that possible? Once again, that air pollution can reach a pregnant mother's baby when the mother breathes the black carbon pollution. And when I'm saying black carbon, once again, it's what's created by burning the fossil fuels, diesel-powered cars or generators, burning coal. These carbon particles can make their way from the lungs of the mother to the placenta, and they may reach the baby or fetus directly. So, research by scientists in the Hasselt University in Belgium, all right, they examined 25 non-smoking mothers, non-smoking, who were giving birth in Belgium. And immediately after birth, they actually took the women's placenta to study the side effects they had faced towards, the fetus with the pollution. And they found black carbon was accumulated in the placenta, although these were non-smoking mothers. So the more black carbon the mother is exposed to during pregnancy, the more black carbon was found in the placenta. That's enough for this week's news. I think that's enough to open our eyes and go, ooh, where are we heading and what's awaiting us in the future when it comes to air pollution? Unfortunately, there's a lot of that here in Lagos, in big cities. Let's just hope that in the future better measures are taken for air pollution. Meanwhile, we will go on a short break. We will be back with a very interesting tip-top tick session. I can see the excitement on your
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Meanwhile, Try Me by Thames.
Take all my mind, take all the joy now. Take me down, take all the love now. Tie me away, burn me alive now. Break me down right now. Now you wanna lock me away, I'm winning. You wanna add to my pain, I'm shining. Now you want for my face. Ideally, we're not the same, no. So why you wanna try me? Yeah, try me. You're out to destroy me, destroy me. You try to challenge me. You try to distract me. If I want the yeah, you bring the lighter. You roll me a mirror, set me
to our top tips.
It's time for Tip Top Tips with Carla.
All right, talking about tips today. These are really tips I would want you to consider. We are focusing on one-star vegetable called the eggplant. It's a nightshade family vegetable. It's used in many vegetarian dishes. It has a lot of nutritional calories. I can give you 3 reasons why you should eat eggplants. First of all, low in calorie food and nutritionally high in, how am I going to put it? Okay, let me put it this way again. I wanted to make it sound like really bam, but it didn't come out this way.
Take two. Let's do it again.
Low calorie food and very, very nutritious.
Bam.
So low in the bad thing, good in the bad good thing. There we go. Also provides fiber, potassium, which is a very important mineral for your heart, for your muscles, for so many things. Manganese, vitamin B1, B6, so many other vitamins. Plus, it's a very good source of antioxidants. I always give this example to my kids so they can understand what's oxidation and what's an antioxidant. Let's say you have an apple or a banana. You eat that banana or you just leave it there, or an apple, you take a bite, leave it there. It gets brown, right?
Yeah.
That's what we call oxidation, just like the metal that gets rusted as well.
Okay.
It is oxidation. It is a natural process in our body, but at a certain rhythm. Now, at a certain rate, if I may say. When you're exposed to a lot of pollution, to a lot of anti-nutrients like junk food and all that, it causes a lot of oxidation in your body. So taking antioxidant containing foods are very good in preventing disease, inflammation, and so many things.
Oh, wow.
So antioxidants, yes, they're found a lot in eggplants. They're called phytonutrients and flavonoids. Those are other names to give them. They help neutralize those free radicals that oxidize your body.
Okay.
Very, very, very important. And they help prevent damage to your cells, because that's what oxidation does. So is that enough to convince you?
Well, yes, definitely. Because first of all, I didn't even know that happened in the human body.
Oh yeah,
as well.
definitely.
I had no idea.
Oxidation, some people, some studies have related oxidation to aging.
Oh,
That
okay.
aging process, it's a kind of oxidation process, because our cells are dying gradually. They're getting damaged
You're
and they're not
getting older.
exactly. So that's one way you can put it. So eggplants, buy your eggplants with the skin that does not bounce back. Make sure that when you're pushing with a finger, the skin doesn't bounce back. Otherwise, it indicates it's overripe.
Oh, and
That's
it's not good.
one tip. Exactly. So you want to enjoy your eggplant. Many of you might say, eggplant. In what can you actually enjoy eggplant? I can give you a very, very yummy, delicious recipe.
Please do.
And by the way,
Speaking of recipes.
I actually got the food
oh
itself.
my God.
for
You actually got me eggplant.
to taste.
Yay, my
in
first
the
eggplant
studio.
experience.
And if you're watching us, please watch us right now on Facebook to see what reaction
Where?
on Onion's face is going to be. You can also, right now, if you go on our Facebook page, Nigeria Info FM, you will have the recipe showcasing, hopefully, right now. With the ingredients and what the directions are. Look, it's very easy. There is no extra sophisticated ingredient for this recipe. It's all found in your good old Niger land. You need eggplants, onions, capers, lemon juice, olive oil, oregano, salt, black pepper, red wine vinegar, tomato, and parsley. Check. You find all of this locally at good prices. We're not talking about ingredients that are costly, so this is a cheap option to get into some nutritional goodness into your body. And
Which I'm about to do
I hope you
now.
enjoy it. So basically what I did, so the recipe is called, actually there's no name for the recipe. I'm going to call it eggplant dip.
Eggplant dip.
There we go.
Okay, Carla
So,
named it. Never
Onion,
forget.
I just got you some eggplant dip.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
My first eggplant. I always see it in our emojis, but
Yes.
I've never actually tasted it. This is my
Really?
first experience.
So this is your first time experiencing eggplant?
Yes, it is.
Never in no, because I
Never.
barely see this in Nigerian dishes.
No, hardly ever. You hardly even find it. It's maybe some select supermarkets, and if you know where
In
to
the
look
market,
in the market,
you find
that's
it
where
in the
you get
market,
it.
and it's at very. I can't give you the official price because it keeps on changing depending on
Yeah,
the
the
dollar
harvest season
and
and all of
the
that.
borders being
But this
closed,
looks
and I don't
really
know what.
good.
So yeah, so this is eggplant dip. Now I
Okay.
sprinkled some olive oil on top, as you
Okay,
can
yes,
see.
I can see.
So for those of you, you can always add a bit more olive oil or a bit more salt if you want. I don't usually salt much. And as a dip, you need something to dip.
Of course.
To dip that something into the eggplant dip, right? So preferably go for whole grain bread. It could be pita bread that you toast. It could be baguette. Are you listening, Onion?
I'm trying.
I'm going to hide this bag
I'm
because you're not concentrating on what I'm saying. All right. And it could be a whole grain baguette. You find delicious, good quality whole grain in Chocolat Royal. That's actually where I got my whole grain bread from. It's actually the American whole grain loaf I'm using right now, but you also have the gluten-free option that's out there for all of you who have gluten intolerance, so there's no excuse not to eat bread. You can always find something in Chocolat Royal. So what I have here is it's called the American loaf whole grain bread, and I toasted it and cut it into sticks because we need to dip those sticks in that eggplant dip. So there you go. I just want to see what reaction you will have because that's your first time. But always have an open mind. When there's something you're not too used to when it comes to taste, it's all a question of habit. Just start every day with, you know, a little bite, then another bite, then another bite. And with time, you will learn to appreciate and love that dish. So I don't know. I mean, I can't show more than that, you know, but it looks good, doesn't it? Fresh tomatoes,
amazing.
Parsley, eggplant. And it took us not even 5 minutes to do. That's how easy
Carla
it is.
cooked for me, you guys.
Yes, I didn't
I'm
cook.
so
I just
touched.
minced and mixed and chopped. It wasn't. There was no
still.
cooking there, but yeah, okay. There was no heating anything, which is the good part as well.
Okay.
So you were asking me about lunch.
Yes, I'm like this is my lunch
Yeah.
because thankfully I'm done at 12. Perfect lunchtime.
That's a
so-
great way for lunch. Now, if you are watching your diet maybe, or you want to incorporate more proteins, bear in mind there's no protein in eggplant. So this is pure vegetable with all its nutritional goodness. And you've got the healthy fat coming from the olive oil, but you don't have any protein. So I would suggest have some grilled chicken, grilled fish. Enjoy the fish here in Niger. I cannot tell you how good it is. Anything that's protein. You can actually add some beans to it as well. Cook your beans, add to it. You know, you just try. Improvise. That's what cooking is about. You want to taste
tell how
that, don't
excited
you?
I am?
She's like, get on with it. Stop talking and let me try that
we?
dip. There we go.
Okay.
You can. I can try it with you
I-
because I haven't. Okay, that's too much parsley on mine, but never mind.
1, 2, 3.
Don't tell me this isn't good. Come on.
Actually,
see,
not bad at all.
This is delicious.
Can we go on a break now? So we
Yeah,
can,
you can
know,
go on a
d-
break.
dive
Okay,
into
we'll be
this.
on a break. We're actually going to leave you with Call on Me by Adekunle Gold. See you after the break.
I've done the most to get your attention, pretty girl. I've done a lot for your love, oh, baby, yeah. But it be like say you fancy bad boys, darling. You say I'm cool, but you want the bad boys on me. I go change for you, I go bad for you. I feel change my style, oh. I go change for you, I go bad for you. I feel change my style, oh. Call on me if you need somebody, oh. Somebody, call my phone if you feeling freaky, oh. Love me if you feeling me, baby, oh. Oh, baby, I go dance for you if you feeling funky, oh. Oh, girl, may you give me love, oh. Give me sweet love, oh, because you dey live for my hearty, baby. But you know, parent, you pretty. Fine girl, no take me wash. Oh. Say I know the boss, oh, baby. While I go be your lover. If you like, make you form, oh, yeah. I go change for you. I go buy.
Bon appetit.
Yummy break.
So that's
was-
post-digestion
Yes,
part.
post-digestion.
Yeah, how are we doing post-digestion?
Fine. Thank you so much. I
So,
actually enjoyed it.
It's been a privilege, Onion. I actually introduced you to
Yes,
eggplants.
you did.
And I look forward to more vegetables.
I look forward to more vegetables too, made by Carla.
But on a serious note, you should try this at home and you'll see how easy it is. We're actually going to showcase the recipe
one more
right
time.
now for you on our Facebook page. If you're watching us, if you're not, just go on our Facebook page, Nigeria Info FM. And after the show, I will be posting it on our Instagram, and you can just follow with hashtag the health station. Or you can follow me at Carla Nujaim CARLA but just press on hashtag the health station and you will have everything that we usually post about the show, whether it's topics, facts, tips and recipes, including the one we just spoke of today. So we are back to our main topic today. And our main topic is about your heart. Our main topic is about your arteries. Arteries are blood vessels that channel the blood from the heart to the rest of the body. And we are talking about 10 clean eats that you can find here in Nigeria. No sophisticated ingredients, once again, that will help unclog and protect your arteries. Of course, taking into consideration that you do have a healthy diet overall. So, heart health concerns us all right? It's no longer a subject to be taken lightly. We know there are many heart issues here in Nigeria.
Yes,
I'm sure you've known people who have suffered from that.
Sadly.
Whether it's strokes, heart attacks, so many things, coronary heart disease. So it happens when basically, what happens in coronary heart disease? Your body starts to build up a plaque around the artery walls, and that narrows the arteries, so it makes it much harder for the blood to pass by your vessels and the heart to pump even better the blood. So it all depends on, there are many factors that affect coronary heart disease. It could be mainly your lifestyle, stress management, of course, being active, and very, very importantly, the food you take in, which is where we come in right now to give you the 10 clean eats. So the foods are plenty, okay, and they all have something in common, or at least one of the things I'm about to tell you. So it's either we have fiber, food that is rich in fiber, food that is rich in a specific fat your body cannot make. It's called omega-3. We will talk about this shortly. Healthy fats. Fat is not our enemy. We've been raised, I think there was a certain era where fat was the bad guy. Anything that was low fat was healthy. Anything that said no fat was the best option. Well, it turned out to be not the case.
Okay.
Fat is not our enemy. You just have to know what kind of fat to take into your diet. Your proper enemy is actually sugar. It's actually refined carbs, and it's what we're going to talk about today. So, very important. Healthy fats, fiber, antioxidants, which is what we spoke of before the show. They all play a very important role in a healthy health. Plus, you can find them, once again, locally in Nigeria.
Great.
All right, so we're going to start with number one, and that's my star, I could say star food for the list, avocados.
Oh, I love avocados. Love.
So you've tasted that
Yes,
before.
I have.
So I love avocados as well. And is there anything avocados can't do? You can either put them, you can actually bake desserts with them. People have tried doing that. You can put them in smoothies for a smoothie texture in your drink. And you can either have anything with them.
Yeah, you can put them in
Salads,
sandwiches too.
Sandwiches. I love it as a sandwich. And we're going to talk about this as well. Avocado is actually a fruit, technically. All right. More specifically, it's defined as a large berry with one single seed, if you want to put it
very
that
big
way.
seed.
So if you go to school or your kid comes and says, Mommy, or Daddy, do you know that avocado is a fruit? Tell him, yes, it's not a vegetable like most other people say. That's technically, all right? So it's not sweet, yes, but it's not all fruits that are sweets
And it's
as
not
well.
even bitter too, actually. if you
No,
think
but
about
I
it.
mean, unless you open bad ones.
Yeah,
I've
bad
opened some really bitter, hard ones, and they really didn't taste good. But it's you and your luck. You're like, please come out good, please come out good, please come out. Oh, it's very good. My avocado is good for the day. All right. Now, it's like the Kinder eggs that you open and you have a surprise. Same thing with avocado. You
Kinder
Yeah,
eggs?
it's like eggs that come with gifts inside.
Oh,
So you
okay.
break, it's like chocolate eggs with gifts inside. You
Oh.
you break it and you have a gift and you don't know what that gift is.
Oh, that's
Same thing with
nice.
avocados. The only gift is that you have a good avocado coming out there.
And a big seed.
And a big seed. All right, so why is it very important? Very, very good for good cholesterol, and very good in lowering your bad cholesterol. So it's filled with also that mineral I spoke of before, potassium, more than bananas, by the way. And because bananas are known to, very good for potassium, well, avocados have more than bananas potassium, and it's very important for the heart. Potassium has proven to help prevent cardiovascular disease and vascular calcification in your arteries. Now, another thing as well, you can just add it to your salad, have a sandwich. That's the best thing you can do. You can mash it,
Yes.
add a bit of lemon juice, a bit of chopped tomatoes, and a bit of garlic. Some people like adding a bit of chopped garlic, and spread it in your sandwich. Mwah! Delicioso.
I can imagine.
Oh,
Like the
yes.
eggplants we just
Oh
had.
yes, oh yes, oh yes. You've got the guacamole dip. That's one way of putting it.
Okay, yes. That's
Same
true.
thing.
Guacamole is like
That's it.
mashed
That's what it is.
avocados.
Exactly. So you can use it as a dip, as a snack in the afternoon, as an addition to your salad. There's always something you can do with avocado. And smoothies, as I was saying, it gives that extra creamy texture for smoothies. That's done with number 1. And number 2 are fatty fish.
Fatty fish.
Fatty fish. I'm going to give you different names. You've got Titus,
Titus
also
fish.
known as Eja.
Okay.
Am I saying it right?
It's the eja I know how to pronounce.
That's
the
the
Yiyan,
Yoruba
yes.
accent that I don't have.
Mhm.
Ofuro.
Okay. I mean, what?
No,
language? Interesting Nigerian
Okay,
languages.
that's mackerel actually. If you want to put
Mackerel.
it in English, it's mackerel. You use it a lot in smoked fish,
okay.
salmon. Quite expensive, but you can find it canned. Stockfish, they use a lot of codfish for that.
In Igbo, we call that ishioporoko.
There we go,
Oporoko.
ishikuroku. And you've got crayfish, which is everywhere in the food, delicious. Dry fish. So you've got a lot of fish here in
Fish.
Nigeria
Have
you can
variety.
use. Now, all the fish usually contains omega-3, which is a fat your body cannot make. It can only take from the food you take in. You've got different kinds of fat, but we're specifically talking about omega-3. But they are more concentrated in oily fish, which is why we're talking about fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, herring. What else? Perch, as I was saying. So just like avocado is packed with nutritional fat, you've got the same thing with fatty fish. It's very important fat. It's fat your body needs. It's fat your body cannot make. And fish consumption has been linked to fewer heart attacks. Their fats have been proven to reduce triglyceride, overall cholesterol, and prevent risk of cardiac death. So we all know that not all fats are created equal. I just said it. You've got the unhealthy fats you get from deep frying, and you've got the healthy fats from avocado and fatty fish. So it's very important you know what kind of fat you are eating, and this is one of the fats you really need in your diet.
No problem.
A bit more on omega-3. I know it's a bit too much to take in as information, but this is something I really insist that you should know. People might say, I don't like fish. How am I going to make it? I need omega-3, but I don't like fish. You can supplement, okay, 1,000 milligram a day. You get a good quality supplement. How do you know it's good quality supplement? When you open the lid, it doesn't stink of fish. They're usually gel capsules with oil inside. And number 2, you look at the ingredients. There are 2 specific ingredients you have to look at. I'm going to give you the short name. You've got EPA. Actually stands for eicosapentaenoic acid. You don't need to learn that by heart. And you have DHA, which is docosahexaenoic acid. You don't also need to know this by heart. So EPA, DHA, these 2 are what make omega-3 special as it is. And they have to be in the supplement, EPA and DHA, and they have to be in same quantity. So if they write 220 milligrams of EPA, you should approximately have the same thing with DHA, okay? EPA, DHA. Omega-3, some people might tell you, come also from seeds. It can come from plants. Not that it doesn't, but it's not the same as EPA and DHA. It's called ALA, alpha-linoleic acid. And this ALA does not give you the benefits as the others. You've got to eat so much more of plant omega-3 to get to the same level of benefit EPA and DHA, which come from fish, will give you. So if you're a vegan or a vegetarian and you don't want to have anything to do with fish, fine. Supplement with some plant-based supplements, which are mainly, usually they use chia seeds or flax seeds. These are not found locally. You do find them in supermarkets. They're a bit on the high side when it comes to pricing. So I would suggest embrace the nature that Nigeria gives you, embrace the seafood that you have here, and go for the fish. Replace meat with fish. Try to reduce your meat and chicken, specifically consumption. You don't know how much chemicals are in your chicken unless you're getting it from a local farmer. And go for fish. Fish is really, really, really important. I cannot emphasize more on that.
It's a
Any
delicious
question?
option. No, actually, it's just a fun memory. When I was younger, I didn't like fish not because I didn't like the taste, but because bone always used to get stuck in my throat, and it was a painful experience trying to get it out. But as I grew older, I jumped back on the fish wagon.
The fish I used to love eating was Giwan Roi. It was up in the north in Kano, and I still love it. And it doesn't have a strong smell, but it's a river fish. It's not as it's not a fatty fish, but yet it's very healthy. It's always a better option than any other meat. All right, so we are done with fatty fish, and we're gonna go on a break, or we're gonna take one more. Ooh, it's a long list out there, and it's already 11:44. Shall we go on?
We can take one more.
We're going to take one more. We're going to go for a break. We're going to talk about nuts. A handful of nuts a day is an easy, cheap, and crunchy way to get the heart benefits going.
Really?
As long as you have a healthy diet overall, of course. All right? It's either, it doesn't have to be nuts like walnuts, almond nuts, pine nuts, and all those sophisticated nuts you do not find here, and which are very expensive in the supermarkets. You can all go to your old-fashioned granite, also known as peanut, arachids. They can do, and it's not an expensive option, and local is just fine. All right. And by the way, peanut plant flowers above ground, and the seeds or peanuts actually develop underground, which is why they call it granite. All this time I thought it was because you grind it. Turns out, no, it's ground nut.
Oh, that's very interesting.
You know, I mean, I'm still learning. Am I not? For me, it was like, it's a local name, granite, like because we grind it for, you know, what's it called?
And all of those things.
Exactly, like granite stew and all that. So it's actually ground nut because the seeds or peanuts develop on the ground. There we go. But you were going to say something?
Yeah, some people have reservations with nuts in particular. Some women, they say it gives pimples because of the oil in it. But now we're hearing it's healthy oil.
Okay, let me put this way. It's very unlikely that it's from the peanuts unless you have a peanut allergy, but then you'd have a different reaction. If you have pimples, most of the time it could be from your food, yes. It could be because you're eating too much fried food. It could be maybe you're eating too much dairy. I've had clients who have stopped dairy completely, and when they've done that, all the pimples went off the back. They had
pimples on their
backs and on their face. So it's really an individual case that you should consider for each, but don't blame it all on the peanuts. And a handful a day won't hurt if you do have a healthy lifestyle, of course. So they're rich in very healthy fats, minerals, and fibers, and magnesium. And magnesium is a mineral that stops the buildup of plaques around the vessels, and it helps prevent clogged arteries. According to the American Heart Association, one more thing, they recommend 3 to 5 servings of nuts per week. A serving would be a small handful. What I do usually in the afternoon, if I have a craving stomach and I want to have a snack, I have a fruit, and I always add to the fruit nuts. I take a handful of nuts, whether it's peanuts or any other nut. It's a very good way to curb that hunger, to feel full for a longer period of time, because you're adding protein and fat to your carbs, so it's slowing down the digestion. It slows down how high your blood sugar goes in your blood vessels. It's a big mechanism out there, but always add your nuts with fruits or with something else, or just have them as they are. It's a great way to,
One more question.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like the answer to this is no, but I'll still ask. Because part of me wonders, and
you will never lose
I'm
by
sure
asking.
people are wondering too, can coconut be considered as a nut? A very big nut, maybe.
I've never been asked this question. I mean, yes, it's coconut. It's a nut. It does contain fat. Coconut is very healthy, but it's a different kind of fat.
Okay.
Peanuts are what we call, you've got monosaturated fat, which comes from peanuts. You've got monounsaturated fat. It's peanuts, olive oil, avocado. That's a specific kind of fat.
Okay.
You've got saturated fat, which is the coconut oil.
Okay.
So it is okay to have coconut. I love using coconut oil in my stir frying, but the health benefits that come from saturated fat are not as good as those of monounsaturated fats, which are olive oil, avocado, and nuts, a few nuts, for the heart. There was a big boom back then to promote the sales of soybean oil and vegetable oil. That saturated fat like palm oil, coconut oil are very bad, very, very bad. But research recently shows you that they're not as bad as people make it sound. They're actually not bad at all if you have them in concentrations that are not too high, because at the end of the day, it is saturated fat. So yes, do enjoy your coconut as it is. Do use coconut or palm oil. Palm oil as well, the good quality palm oil. The good one that you get from the village and the market, not that's all shiny on the supermarket shelf and you don't know what else they've added to it. They're very healthy if you have them in moderation. The only problem is now it's always been that way, that there's a lot of deep frying in the process, and deep frying destroys the oil completely, no matter how healthy it was before you fried it. So go for coconuts, enjoy them. I had a coconut 3 days ago. I just munched it and it was delicious, and it filled my I wasn't hungry after that.
Coconut cheese.
But have a bit of all those fats. So you've got the saturated fats, which is coconut and palm oil. Have some palm oil. You can stir fry. I sometimes stir fry some palm oil with some water leaf and ugu leaves. I love stir frying them,
vegetable stir fry.
and I enjoy the taste, specifically ugu, when I stir fry it with coconut palm oil. But I put a little palm oil, not too much, because I need to balance this with other kinds of oil, which come from the peanuts and the olive oil and the avocado. So those are mainly the heart-friendly ones. If you want to consider in
Thank you very
bulk.
much.
I hope that answers your question.
It does answer my question.
All right. You know what? I think we can't go more than that. There's so much more to I think we're going to have a sequel.
Part 2, yes.
Yeah, a part 2 for our show. We will continue next week. We are sorry to cut it short for today. Too much information in such little time. But then again, we give you quality when it comes to information we hope that you've learned today. Nigeria Info FM, our Facebook page. You can also go on nigeriainfo.fm on our online platform to watch the show again, or follow us on #TheHealthStation. And tune in next week again for a follow-up of today's show.
Yes, and I'll tell you in detail how delicious the eggplant dip was.
And you should tell your friends to taste that.
Yes, I will.
And give us your honest opinion.
I will.
And we will have more of those recipes coming in. If you really are interested, do leave some comments under our video that has been streaming. Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I'm touched. I'm so eggplant touched today. This eggplantation, I feel it in the studio.
So much love.
All right, we'll see you next week. Have a lovely weekend. Do take care of yourselves. The only place you can live in is your body. Cherish it. It's your temple. And we will end the show today with a quote. And we will always be ending our show with a quote of the week by Josh Shipp. You either get bitter or you get better. It's that simple. You either take what has been dealt to you and allow it to make you a better person, or you allow it to tear you down. The choice does not belong to fate. It belongs to you.
I feel like that was for me.
It's for everyone, including myself.
Yeah.
All right. Have a lovely weekend out there.
You.
It was Carla and Onion on the Health Station.
And we're back. This is Health Station with Carla. That was Health Station with Carla. Making a difference next week, 11 a.m. to